Hi, everybody. Welcome. And thank you so much for being here today. I wanted to share with you a little about why the astrology is so important right now and how we can use the astrology, especially of these next days, in positive ways, in constructive, in empowering ways, so that we're not blown over by the intensity of these energies. I'd like to first say a huge thank you to dear Lucy, who is helping here online. Immediately, I only gave her about 45 minutes notice saying, let's do a live stream today. Are you around? And immediately, with great alacrity, she says, yes, I'm here. And I know that she's got difficulty with her wireless connections, and she's here. So thank you, Lucy. Big shout out for you. These are big times, and times where sometimes the energy may be overwhelming. You may get a sense of like, wow, because there's been this tremendous build-up to this great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. And this is just the beginning. This is not the end. This is not like, right, it's past now. Now with the Aquarian energy, we are in a position to birth ourselves into the new earth. The wonderful book by Eckhart Tolle, I'm a great fan of his. We are birthing a new earth. And I think earth is the important word, not new world, not new age, but because of Uranus in Taurus, Uranus the new, Taurus the earth, it's a new earth that's happening. So the big aspect that we're contending with for the next few days is this square between Mars in Aries and Pluto in Capricorn. And these two planets like it their own way. Mars says, I want to go this way. And Pluto says, no, we're going to do it this way. And this can be quite a divisive energy. This can be an energy of separation. You're not seeing it my way, so bugger you. That kind of an energy. And this is just what is up there. And if you know that this energy, this kind of energy is out there, maybe people on the roads are going to be difficult. Maybe there's an energy with Mars-Pluto squares of hanging on to something that you think is right, doing something in your way. I'm noticing now that I'm living with people. I've been living alone for many, many years, and now I'm living with my beautiful young family and a dog, that we cook differently. I've not shared a kitchen in donkey's years. And so there is an adaptation that needs to take place. Now, Rochelle is a wonderful Virgo. So when she chops the vegetables, she does it all nice and neatly, but much slower than I do it. I'm quick, and I don't mind if it's not exact, but hers is very precise. And how can we adapt to one another's different ways? I'm sure for those of you living in big families, you know about all this, but this is my challenge at the moment where I'm learning to adapt. So where in your life is your challenge where you need to just learn to adapt a little around the people that you're around the people you work with, around a situation you might not feel you should be in? Where can you just loosen a little? So this is probably going to be quite an emotional time. It's already an emotional time of year. This whole holidays, and I think there's a widening of the feeling of the gap between the people who've got a lot of money and the people who have very, very little, and that this gap is becoming more and more pronounced. And if we look at the way that politics has unfolded in these last years, particularly in the United States, under all the various administrations, the wealth has gone higher to the few. And the many are left really struggling. And this now is coming to a head. Yes, these injustices, these feelings as though might have to fight for what we want. And I'm not saying that a fight isn't necessary sometimes, although being a Libra, I don't like conflict. And I'd much rather that things were nice and peaceful and nicey-nicey. But they're not always nicey-nicey. And how are we going to deal with situations that don't feel nicey-nicey? And how are things changing now that there's so many of us in lockdown? There's so many of us are feeling this time of the year, you might pick up on the energies of the collective, right? We feel one another. If there's pain going on right now, as I can see all over the place, there are many painful situations going on. And to me, these are opportunities now where instead of digging your heels in with Mars, Pluto, it's got to be my way. Let's go into the energy of Uranus in Taurus. What are the new ideas I can come up with to help us birth this new time? So we're building up to a full moon in Cancer. And Cancer has everything to do with food. So issues around food might come up. Food and nourishment, being fed. So there's the physical food, there's the food that you eat, there's all the kind of addictions around food. They may come up more intensely for healing. Then there's the nourishment that we can give one another. I hope that here online you feel nourished with our beautiful soul family, that we can nourish one another in an energetic field. Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, all my heroes, Joe Dispenza, they talk about the unified field, and that you can tune into the field of energy where there is love and support and nourishment for you. And I hope that you feel that here online on these live streams, especially at this challenging time of year. So issues of food coming up, issues around mothering. Don't be surprised if issues about mother, nurturing, abandonment, rejection, all of these things may come up intensely. These issues are coming up in different ways where I'm living with my new family here, my beautiful soul family. They're here for healing. Many tears may come up. I had a very difficult several hours yesterday, going through that energy of feeling emotional, just emotional. And just allowing yourself to feel those emotions. I felt my resistance, the Pluto-Mars energy of like, I'm going to be strong. What am I crying for? Why am I upset? Instead of just saying, hey, I might not even know why tears are coming up, but maybe it's my fellow brothers and sisters that are feeling that, and I'm empathizing and I'm tuning in with them. And just to know that the emotions may wash over you in a whoosh, And each time, if we can think that we are moving into a new earth and that all these old traumatic emotions are coming out in an intensity for us to heal them, for us to soothe one another, to find places of soothing. For me, of course, the soothing is often in the teddies. It could be a cuddle with a pet, a cat or a dog, or a person that's dear to you, if you're allowed to cuddle at the moment, of course, with all this COVID, or imagining cuddling somebody. And this can be a time when many think back to the loved ones that you've lost, the loved ones that you are dear to you. And a friend said to me yesterday, hey, I feel as though my loved ones are always with me, my mum and my dad. And it's true, they never really go away. And you can tune in, and you may find yourself tuning into those loved ones that are still so dear to you, whether they're alive in body or whether they've passed on. So don't be surprised if these issues come up. It's an opportunity for breaking down the barriers, the things that would have kept us separate, to take responsibility for your own emotions that are coming up. And to know, I love this quote from my dear Eckhart Tolle, who says, anything you resent or strongly react to in another person is also in you. So rather than maybe lashing out in the Pluto square, Mars energy, you did this is what you were doing. Here I am slaving over a hot stove, doing all the cooking, and you're not helping, and you can see I need help. Whatever that victim-y stuff that may be coming up. See if you can smile at it. Acknowledge the distress in your body or whatever may be coming up. And when the emotion has calmed, and when you can say something in a peaceful voice and a kind voice, then address it with whomever may have triggered it in you. This is the conscious way to begin to deal with all this stuff that I am anticipating will be coming up. These aspects are intense. And when there's an intensity, if we can be consciously aware that the intensity is upon us and hasn't just gone away because the conjunction has happened, we are healing so that we can connect in a new and deeper way. Drew, welcome. Thank you so much for joining today. I've got so much support with lovely Lucy, who is my wonderful helper all of the time, and Drew, who is there some of the time. Thank you so much for joining. So there may be sadness that you pick up on, there may be anger that you pick up on, there may be all kinds of emotions. People right now are very far away from family, want to be close with family. What can we do to get this feeling of family, even if we are thousands of miles apart? You are my soul family. For those of you here online today and later watching, we're connected. We might not feel it all of the time, but I'm hoping that gradually, with all of this air energy, we're going to be able to feel and tune into these frequencies quickly and sense when one of our brothers and sisters needs something. And isn't it wonderful, the things that are happening on our planet now? We've got all these truckers, all these lorries lined up on the motorway in the UK, where we've been cut off. The borders in the UK now, countries are just, there's another strain of this COVID, and now the UK really is an island cut off. and the Sikh community in the UK have prepared hundreds of curries and taken them to those poor stranded truckers on the motorway. So they've had hot meals, they've had food to eat, reaching out to one another. So we've got tremendous difficulty and opportunity from that difficulty to get close. I have a lovely client in Victoria, Australia, who has said that since these very severe lockdowns that they've had with COVID for several months in Victoria, the state of Victoria, that the coming together of the people, the support in the collective has grown immensely. People coming up with new initiatives to work together, to do business together, so that it is more community-led, which is very much Uranus in Taurus energy. Community-led, working in communities. So we've got our big global community here online, where we can inspire each other. There's new initiatives coming up all the time. I'm seeing it all over with different clients, different groups. This is happening. In the Netherlands, for example, I've got a wonderful client there who's involved in the starting up of a collective farm. And this is being organized whereby about 200 families each put in about 2,000 euros. I think that's about $2,000 and a bit. So quite a manageable sum, a one-off sum. And they lease some land and they employ a farmer and plant trees and plant vegetables and grow, and the farmer works for them. And every week for about 10 euros, these families come and collect their own food, organically grown, no pesticides, no additives. And the community is eating that food that they've contributed to together. So there are many powerful initiatives that will be coming up around food, around buildings, around nourishing ways to live, and everybody feeling as though they're making a contribution. Uranus in Taurus, this is so much about where we don't talk about it anymore, but we actually do it now. Here in New Zealand, I'm getting involved with a lovely food bank called Love Soup. We've got big hearts on our t-shirts, and we provide food for the needy and people who really have very little. We did a big Christmas dinner, and we're just really, and everybody in the community is getting involved. So there's a local baker who gives beautiful, fresh, wonderful pastries and breads. The supermarkets, yes, are involved, but it's the local people that want to be involved. They're giving of their own hearts. And I'm seeing it happen. So if you're in lockdown right now, or you're in a situation where you actually can't do much, you can still get involved if you wish with the new teams and initiatives that will be coming together with Uranus in Taurus of how we repopulate our soil with good nutrients and vitamins and all the minerals that we need, so that our foods are filled with energy, that when we eat, that food is reviving. So everything to do with these issues of hunger and food, housing and homelessness, health and well-being, nurturing and love. These are the themes that the astrology is encouraging us to move towards. And it's definitely because Uranus is the new and Taurus is about practicality and actually doing it. So we're looking at this time now of what can we do in the build up to this full moon in a week's time? Full moon in Cancer. Well, it's a good time to start thinking about home. What does home mean for you? Beautiful quote from Maya Angelou. The ache for home lives in every one of us. The safe place that we can go as we are and not be questioned. That's the dream of the home that I feel that we are all looking for in some way. So, what does home mean for you? What would it look like? How do you want to feel? How do you want to be? What does family feel like to you? Do you feel here online that you are part of a soul family that is caring for you? Lucy and Drew are doing a terrific job in the live chat here where there is interaction going on. I encourage you, if you want to take this further, get in touch, email one another. Let's start the web of a family that is a conscious one on this new earth. And I think this Pluto square that's coming up, again, my hero, one of my heroes, Eckhart Tolle, who says, sometimes letting things go is a far greater act of power than defending or hanging on. And Pluto Mars has very much this energy of defending what's mine's mine. I'm hanging on to it instead of just letting go. And letting go is so relaxing, isn't it? It's so much we've been living in this tension. Where do you need to let go? Open up and allow. Now, you may have opportunities that come to you at this time. Uranus, Taurus, Uranus, a surprise opportunity. And I think that many of us have been trained, especially with Neptune square to Venus at the moment, not to feel necessarily too self-confident. Am I good enough? Am I this enough? Am I the other enough? Richard Branson, certainly a very successful entrepreneur, says, if someone offers you a great opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, say yes and then learn how to do it later. So say yes. If something comes along that's exciting and you're not quite sure that you can do it, but you'd like to get involved, just say yes and get involved. Get your feet dirty, get your hands dirty. It's time to do that. So I just really want to thank you and to let you know that you are important, that you really make a difference. You have got something to do to awaken as we move out of this very powerful 2020. We're not out of it yet. I'll be coming back with another live, certainly before the new year, possibly two, to launch us with some new intentions as we go into 2021. And I just want to thank you for being my soul family. Teddy's want to say thank you too. Thank you, Lucy, for all your help. Thank you, everybody, for being here online today. And if you celebrate the Christmas, I wish you Merry, Merry Christmas. And may we all find home physically, emotionally, mentally. Much from my heart to yours in Whangaparoa, here in New Zealand. Much, much love to you. May you have inspiration. May you have ideas that get you out of bed, that stop you from sleeping because you're so excited You can't wait to connect. You can't wait to feel as though you have got something vital that you want to contribute. Don't hold back. This is not the time for holding back. This is the time for giving out and sharing. Much love.